Okay, lesson 4 is on combining like terms, or sometimes it's just called simplifying. So if you remember parts of an expression, all of these different things between the plus and minuses are just called terms. So like here we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. So you have variable terms. Those would be the ones that have variables. So that would be like your 7x, your negative 5x, and your 4x. Your constants, they don't have variables. So on this one, it would be your 3, your 8, and your negative 1. And remember, coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variable. So we would have a 7, a negative 5, and a 4. And if you remember, like the coefficient of x is just a 1, but we just don't ever usually write that. The coefficient of negative x would be negative 1. So to combine like terms, we find the ones that have the same variable and then also just constants. So on this one, we would put together the x's first because we always want to make the constants go last. So we would have a 7x minus 5x, which is 2x, and then plus 4x, so that is 6x. And then we have 3 plus 8, which is 11, minus 1 is a positive 10. And then we're done. Again, it's not wrong if you flip these around, but we don't really want you to. We want the constants at the end. So some of these should be pretty easy. That's 9x. This, you should know, is going to be negative a. And I really don't want you to put the 1 there because you're just supposed to know that it's given. Okay, next one should be 2m minus 6. This one, we're going to put that negative 6w first. And then 9 plus 5 is a positive 14. Again, I'm not going to count it wrong, but it's the correct way to do it. Next one, 7p minus 9p. And then you have a negative 1 plus 5. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and you do those. And then you see what you get after you unpause it. Okay. Hopefully you got the same answers as me. If not, pause it and try to figure it out or ask for help. Okay, on to the back. So when you have terms that have the exponents or a combination of like different letters, you have to look for the terms have to have the same letter and the same exponent to be able to add or subtract. So for example, on this one, the x's are the same and the exponents are the same. So then we can go ahead and get 12x squared. And since we're looking for the same like variable and exponent, then we don't change that once we add or subtract the coefficient. So same with this, n to the 5th is on both. So then we do negative 15 plus 4, which is negative 11. And then we're not going to change the thing that is the same on both of them. Okay, letter or number 11. They're all c cubed. So we know we're not going to change the c cubed. And then you just go ahead and do 8 minus 7, which is 1 plus 16 is 17. Okay, now here's the first one where we have k squared and we also have k. So we're only putting the terms together that have the same variable and exponent. And usually you want to do the higher exponent first. So we're going to pick out all the x or the k squared. So we have an 8 and we have a negative 2. So that's going to give us 6 and we're going to keep the k squared. And then we have a negative 1 minus 5. So that's negative 6k. And then we just have a plus 7. Okay, on these have a squared b, a squared b. So those two would be like terms. Here we have xy. And if this one was like yx, those are still like terms if they try to trick you like that. And then you have an x squared and a y squared, so those aren't like terms. So you got to look at the letters really carefully and the exponents. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and then you pause, do it, and then check it. Okay, so go ahead and check these 4 out. If you can read my writing, hopefully you got the same. Again, if not, pause it, try to figure it out, ask someone or me for help. And then we're going to go on to the geometric applications. So basically, you're doing the same thing we've been doing. You're just applying it to some geometry figures. So you have to remember how to find perimeter. That's the distance around a figure. And then all you're doing is adding these 3 things up. It would be just like if it was written like this, except now it's going around a figure. So you're going to put the like terms together. So you're going to do 3x plus 2x plus x. That'll give you 6x, and then you have a plus 1. And that is the perimeter of that figure. Okay, on these, you're going to put the a's together. That AB is going to be separate. Then you have your constant. So I'm going to go ahead and put my negative a and 5a together, or I can think of it as 5a minus a. So we have 4a. And then we have, I'm going to do plus 4ab, because I know my constant goes at the end, and I'm going to get 16 at the end. Okay, now don't forget there's 4 sides here. And here, you don't need to freak out. You just add them all up. Just be careful with the exponents. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it and put the answer up. All right. And that is really it with putting like terms together. So make sure you're always practicing the homework after you do the handout.